Good morning and welcome once again to the Wellness Connection with Dr. McMahon. This is Dr. James McMahon. I'm here as usual with our moderator, Misty Walraven. Good morning, Misty.
Good morning, Dr. McMahon.
Is there anything you want to shout out to the audience today?
Yes, I would love to give a shout out to the audience members who give me phone calls saying how much they enjoy the show and their ideas for future shows. It's very, very rewarding.
Well, also they can call in with their questions.
Of course.
Misty. If they have any particular questions for our guests, we're happy to round up answers for them. Well, who do we have on the show today, Misty?
It's Dr. Gene Chavo.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love Gene. I've known Gene for many years. You know what I didn't know, though? I knew Gene as a chiropractor extraordinaire, but I didn't know she's a woman of many talents. And we're going to talk about some of her other talents as well tonight. So we're just delighted to have Gene on with us. Hello, Gene. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
May I call you, now you are officially Dr. Chabot, but may I call you Gene?
Oh, please.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, Gene, before we get going, I'm going to tell the audience just a little bit about myself. I have an integrated medical practice in Homewood, Alabama called McMinn Clinic, where we practice world-class integrative medicine. I'm a residency-trained, board-certified MD physician and also currently on faculty at UAB School of Medicine. So, all right, Gene, well, let's get going. Why don't you tell me about our little connection there with the doctor of the future?
Okay, well, I thought it was very interesting that the first time I went to see you as my doctor, I was sitting in the waiting room, and there was a plaque on the wall with a quote from Thomas Edison, quote, "The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease." That's the very same quote that I have in my waiting room, so I knew right off the bat that we were on the same page where health and healing were concerned.
Oh, that's a powerful statement, and I'm always amazed that Thomas Edison was so thoughtful about, 150 years ago he came up with that, and so I think that's pretty cool. And I think it speaks to the body's power to heal itself. Sometimes I think in Western medicine we get so aggressive, we want to go in there and fix things, but the fact of the matter is in most instances we have to let the body heal itself.
I agree.
And, so we're going to talk about some of your healing modalities, Gene. Tell us about some of the things you do in your practices, the services you offer, and your philosophies, those kind of things.
Well, of course, I've been in practice 34 years, so I feel like I'm an old-timer. I've been trained in the old classical chiropractic techniques, which most people know, but also I've taken some courses in very gentle techniques, especially for people who don't do very well with forceful adjustments or have a lot of fear concerning them, like the activator method. We also use physical therapy. For example, diathermy, ultrasound. We do acupuncture with the TENS current, which is very effective. And I'm very excited about lately we have gotten a decompression therapy machine, which is excellent for not just taking the pressure off the disc, and this is FDA approved for bulging disc, herniated disc, degenerative joint disease, and Facet syndrome, and having wonderful success with that. So I'm very excited about that. We also do nutritional counseling, homeopathy, herbal work, and I have a doctor who comes in and does Reiki work and advanced energy healing, also a yoga instructor, and a personal trainer who works with some of our patients.
Wow, that's just an amazing array of services you offer.
Yeah, Dr. Chabot, tell us, what are some of the types of conditions that you've had the most success with?
Well, there's so many different, I was thinking of that previously and thinking, I'm so much of a family practice practitioner. We work with so many different types of conditions. Right now, though, we have an awful lot of people who are sitting at computers for hours and hours, days, weeks, months, years, and have gotten a lot of neck, shoulder, arm problems. We've had a lot of success with them releasing the tension in specific muscles, but I'm very proud of the fact that we teach our patients how to sit properly, but not only that, how to stretch specific muscles that we find that are really tight, and then exercise the ones that need to be strengthened.
Now, Dr. Gene, you've been in practice for how many years?
34
You must have started when you were 10 years old.
No, I did. I started
Amazing.
in 1976.
34 years. Well, you certainly speak from experience, don't you, Gene? You've seen it all, haven't you?
I've seen a lot, although
Yes.
a lot of the old-time chiropractors, what they tell me in the past, being put in jail and all this stuff, oh my God.
Yes.
They really were they were
Pioneers.
through tough times, pioneers.
Absolutely.
And they've taught me a lot. I've
Yes.
learned a lot about the old-time ways of releasing muscles. The new ways are more scientific, and I like to have both ways in the clinic.
Right. Right. Well, after 34 or 5 years, certainly you have access to it always. There are many styles of chiropractic that I've learned, and so how would you describe your style?
What I do when a patient comes in after a good case history exam and x-rays, we talk about what they expect, what they want, if they've already been to another chiropractor, the success that they had, if they have any specific fears, and then putting everything together, I'll use the type of style either by hand, the old-fashioned manipulation where you hear a popping sound, or I use a very gentle stretching, more like osteopathic type maneuvers, which are very gentle, more stretching and relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always wants to know what causes the popping noise. So what is your version?
Well, I have been taught that when you look at the joint, you have the two bones that come together, and then you have a synovial sac with fluid inside, and when there's a fast sudden movement, there's a nitrogen gas that's released, and that's what causes that funky little popping sound, which, by the way, is music to my ears.
Oh, I bet. Because there's a real release that happens there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm trying to be what you call an integrative Dr. Gene. That is, I'm trying to expand beyond traditional allopathic medicine and incorporate things like nutrition, etc., and also work with colleagues like you. And have you found in your practice that sometimes it's helpful to come at a certain condition from multiple different directions, like, for instance, with chiropractic and not only nutrition, but, for instance, working with an MD doctor like myself?
Absolutely, and I have referred you patients,
And thank
especially
you.
hormones.
Yes.
A lot of women who are in menopause, and you have been a great help to them. Of course, I'm your patient, and you've been a great help to me. So that comes from personal
Wonderful.
experience.
Yes. Well, speaking of personal experience, I would imagine a lot of the things you do and you've learned over the years come from your personal experience, things that you've gone through yourself. Do you have any thing you could tell us about that?
Okay, well, for example, about 22 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, I had horrible allergies to ragweed.
Yeah.
And when I came to Birmingham, I thought I had a cold that just wouldn't go away.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, there's so much pollen around here down south. I'm from Massachusetts. So one of the things that I finally got interested in was homeopathy.
Mm-hmm.
Because where you would go to ENT specialist,
Right.
they find out what you're allergic to, and then they give you shots.
Right.
So with homeopathy, you can actually, I have the different formulas that have within them, for example, ragweed, and you can take that by mouth instead of getting shots and having to go to the doctors, and that really works.
And you practice that in your clinic?
I do.
Yes.
Also, grapeseed extract is an incredible herb.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
it was a nurse that taught me that when I was teaching a class to a group of nurses, and one raised up her hand and said, by the way, do you know anything about grapeseed extract? I said, well, tell me about it. And I used it myself, and again, something that I learned for myself, I could put into practice with my patients.
And you use the grapeseed extract for what purpose?
For the symptoms of for sinusitis, which would be the drippy nose.